Gift of music. You'll hear them in concert and you'll meet some of these very talented young folks individually. I hope you find this special. I sure did. Tonight at 7:30, Gift of Music.
Look forward to it.
Musicians play in the other countries.
I'm really excited about it because I think it's going to be really neat. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've never been to Eastern Europe.
I think San Antonio should be very proud of us.
It's a high note of friendship as these young people work toward a tour through Romania, Hungary, and Austria. Hi, this is Sharon Jones of News 4 San Antonio. Meet some of these young musicians and get a glimpse of the quality performances they give in The Gift of Music, Thursday night at 7:30 on Channel 4. The San Antonio Youth Philharmonic, 90-plus members strong, all between the ages of 12 and 21, representing some of the finest young musical talent in the state.
We're all just one big family. Everybody's friends with everybody, and I love playing with this orchestra. It's a lot of fun.
The most special thing about the Youth Philharmonic is that most of the kids, they're young. The average age is like 14 and a half, and everybody gets together and works, and it's just great.
It is definitely a benefit if I do take up music as a career, because I'm not only getting first-hand experience, I'm also getting an edge on playing techniques, and I'm learning also a wider variety of music itself.
When these kids are at home, they may listen to AC/DC or Michael Jackson, but each of them also has a special love for the classics, and they play them beautifully. It's tough to be in the Youth Philharmonic. Each member must audition, and the competition is stiff. It's been that way for a long time. The Youth Philharmonic dates back to the 1940s. Originally formed by the San Antonio Independent School District, it has grown over the years into a group that represents every school district in San Antonio, and also includes members that travel from as far away as Laredo.
Do you all have pencils on your stands? Mark that spot. You must work on that this week.
This rehearsal is more than just practice. They're tuning up for the greatest musical adventure of their lives. The San Antonio Youth Philharmonic has been invited to perform behind the Iron Curtain. In July of next year, they will spend 2 weeks touring Romania and Hungary, plus a 2-day stop in Vienna, Austria.
Well, I think it's going to be great traveling to Eastern Europe, becoming ambassadors and all. Travel, see how the communist world is.
I can't wait to go visit all the museums and all the historical churches and all the places there. It's really going to be exciting.
I'm just happy that I'll be able to go to Europe. This will be my first time.
I want to see Vienna, Mozart's home, because I love Mozart.
Being able to have the privilege to go to Europe with such a fine organization is definitely a privilege.
It's been said that music is the universal language, and through music, these kids hope to show the people of Eastern Europe that Texas is more than just cowboys and oil wells. They want to share their love of the classics with people who live in the part of the world where the classics were born. Places that are no more than exotic names or colored spots on a map for most of these kids. But they can't get there on talent alone. It will take a lot of hard work and a lot of money. Many of these kids' families can't afford to pay the full cost of the trip, so they're all doing their part to raise money for the group. Kim Nguyen's busy in her kitchen making egg rolls. Each one sold will help bring the Youth Philharmonic a little closer to their goal of raising more than $150,000.
I'm so tired, This is a tiring job.
Kim's project is just one example of the many things orchestra families are doing to help their kids. Mrs. Nguyen has 4 very good reasons for helping out. Her children. 21-year-old Wendy plays first chair bassoon for the Youth Philharmonic. Sandy, who's 18, plays viola. 17-year-old Phyllis is first chair violinist. And 15-year-old John sits in the cello section. Each of them is gifted with a rare talent, and the Youth Philharmonic is an important part of their lives.
I like the music. I love the music a lot. And of course there's some frustrating times when it doesn't click, but I just like it when it goes just right, you know, and it's great to hear good music.
When I play, I feel very happy inside because it's something I'm expressing emotionally and physically, and also spiritually, because music to me it's just a spiritual kind of thing when you do, and you just completely wrap around it, and it just feels your every fiber.
The Nuyen children are looking forward to experiencing Eastern European culture. They're not really sure what to expect, but they know it won't be like America.
I don't know, but I feel like the people there, they're gonna be real nice and everything, but I think they're gonna be dressed differently from us.
And so
Phyllis is especially excited about seeing Vienna.
Well, I just imagine this picture. It's real big, and it's have all these tall buildings, you know, and it looks like temples, you know, but I don't know what I'm saying. But no, but I think it's gonna be real beautiful.
I'm really excited. I just can't wait. I picture myself being in a big city, lost.
Besides all that, this summer's trip will have special meaning for the Nuyen children, because they will take with them a personal experience with communism. In 1975, their father, Mai, escaped with his family on the last plane out of Vietnam. The children were too young to understand the reasons, and their memories of Vietnam have dimmed over the years. So now they have a keen desire to see what life is like in communist countries. There is no fear, only curiosity.
It's going to be a chance for me to see, you know, the world, but not only the world, it's going to be a chance for me to see a communist country and how they, you know, how the people live over there, and the culture, I'm sure, is going to be a whole lot different from America, you know, since America is the land of freedom.
When they came here, they were still young. And
their father still remembers well what it was like in Vietnam, and he has a few worries about sending his children into communist bloc countries.
But I hope, even I have some apprehension, and a lot of apprehension, I still hope that they'll learn a lot from that trip, from this trip, because I think it expands their view of life in communist countries comparatively with the one from the Western countries.
If our students were being asked to go to Vietnam, I would have certainly serious reservations, but not in Hungary. The people are very, very freedom-loving people.
This man knows Eastern Europe well. He used to live there and says going back will be a positive experience for his son. Their story when we return. One of the Youth Philharmonic's trombone players, 16-year-old Mark Williams, is no stranger to one of the countries the group plans to tour next summer. Mark spent some of his early childhood in Hungary, while his father studied music there. Mark Williams Sr., a music professor at St. Mary's University, says musically it was one of his most enlightening experiences.
My experience in Hungary was like having cotton pulled from my ears. As a music major through college and graduate school in theory and composition, I never really knew how to listen to music and to hear music before I studied at the Liszt Academy.
That's why Mark's parents are excited about the orchestra's music tour. Although Mark says he doesn't remember much of Hungary, he's still looking forward to going back.
Well, I'm really excited about going on the tour. I think seeing everything that I've seen before that I don't quite remember.
And I think when he gets there, he's going to remember some things. Mm-hmm. He spent a lot of time on the Danube, and I know he took boat trips, and he saw much of Budapest and the beautiful museums.
The Williams think it'll be a positive experience for the whole orchestra, and they too are trying to help raise money for the group.
it's necessary to raise a lot of money for a group such as this, and it's necessary to do a lot of different things. And so one small part of this that we're trying to do is to help the group by providing gourmet coffees and food products and so forth to the parents.
They're selling imported coffees, teas, pasta, cookies, and candies. The profits go directly to the orchestra's trip. Meanwhile, Mark practices up on the classics. For Eastern European audiences, he thinks will be a little tougher to please. Mark's aware of Europeans' keen appreciation of music, an appreciation he hopes to take through college.
Yeah. Probably get a minor in music in college and then just play for fun.
Mark gets a lot of musical influence from his father, as well as encouragement and support. But Mark Sr. feels his son's experience in Hungary, where he was enrolled in a music preschool, did a lot to nurture his talent.
He's been around it all of his life, and so I suppose a lot of it's rubbed off, but I do believe that his early experiences in Hungary probably had more to do with his musicality than anything that I could have done.
Many of the kids of the Youth Philharmonic are also very active in other musical groups. For example, their own high school bands. 3 members of the orchestra also play in the band here at Memorial High School.
There's 16-year-old Paul Sanchez on trumpet, 16-year-old Tony Garay behind the French horn, and 17-year-old George Garza on trombone. All friends, they practiced together for their audition for the Youth Philharmonic. Now they're going to tour Europe together.
I can't wait till he gets here. I feel very excited about going over there.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for these Edgewood School District students. Band parents and supporters, like director Victor Lozano, want to make sure it becomes a reality for them.
Right now, we have a group of parents working on dinners, like Mexican dinners and turkey dinners, and they are considering a dance so that they can raise funds for them.
These kids are always ready to share their love of music. For Paul, the trumpet player, appreciation for it came early.
They went out and bought me a little guitar. And I was about 4 or 5, I can't remember. They started teaching me, and then I kept up from there. They bought me musical instruments, and I play all of them.
Paul and his other buddies enjoy a wide range of music, but for George, the trombone is the only sound he needs.
It's just like the sound it gets. Sounds real mean, tough.
All 3 apparently have good ears for music. They're first chair musicians in the Memorial Band, and Lozano says they're exceptional students.
I know Tony was a trumpet player himself, and he gave it up 2 years ago so he could produce horn sounds for us because we needed horn sound. And Paul was only a freshman, and I had him playing first trumpet because I needed a lead, and he took over immediately. Now George, he is the quiet one, but always there whenever he's needed.
And at least one of them is planning a career in music.
I want to study music, and I want to be a band director, and I want to come back to this school, maybe teach.
Tony and his friends have an excellent role model in this man. His musical career spans from San Antonio to Europe and back. The story of the orchestra's conductor is coming up.
Trumpets, you're late. Watch.
A few years ago, a young man named Terrence Frazier sat in one of these chairs and dreamed of a musical career. Frazier's come a long way since his days with the San Antonio Youth Philharmonic. Today, he's the conductor.
This is number 1. This is number 1.
I grew up in this orchestra. I played oboe in the San Antonio Youth Orchestra in the late 1960s when I was a student at Robert E. Lee. And playing in this orchestra at that time had a tremendous impact on me. There are a number of students from the youth orchestra from those days who are now playing professionally. There are several members who are in the San Antonio Symphony now. One of the French horn players who I went to high school with and played in the youth orchestra is now the principal horn of the Vienna Symphony Orchestra.
Terrence Frazier should have included himself on a list of outstanding alumni because he too has had a very distinguished musical career. He's been conducting for 15 years and learned his craft from some of the greats in Europe and America.
For 2 years, he was assistant to the late Leopold Stokowski, legendary conductor with the American Symphony in New York. He left the Big Apple to come back to Texas as music director of the Laredo Symphony. Then a few months ago, he accepted a second job with the Youth Orchestra, what he calls his labor of love.
Second violins, count your rests at the beginning.
Every artist has, whether or not they'll admit it, or maybe even if they're not aware of it, but I think we all have this need to teach. I love teaching. And if you think about it, really, that's what a conductor does anyway. If you're on the podium of a youth orchestra or the New York Philharmonic, you're really teaching the orchestra how to play the music. Not how to play their instruments, but how to play the music.
I want you to play on the downbeat, not the second note, not the third. Let's start again.
Frazier considers himself to be a low-key conductor. He doesn't believe in yelling or humiliating individuals in front of the group. He does believe in a lot of practice and attention to detail.
It sounds awful. And this is the first piece on the program. I mean, certainly you don't want to exhibit this sort of thing right off, do you?
Really, if you think about it, nothing artistic can be accomplished until everything technically is perfect. And especially with the youth orchestra, I think you do have to spend about 90% of the time on technique, on the basics.
Frazier will be spending a lot of time on those basics over the next few months, fine-tuning the orchestra for sophisticated European audiences. But he has a lot of confidence and pride in his kids.
I really feel like this is the strongest and best youth orchestra that the city of San Antonio has ever produced.
And we'll hear them in performance when we come back. When the Youth Philharmonic travels to Europe next summer, they will take a bit of San Antonio with them, in their hearts and in the form of a television camera. KMOL TV will go with the orchestra, and when we come back, we'll share their experiences with the folks back home in the form of a 90-minute documentary. On December 16th, the San Antonio Youth Philharmonic gave a Christmas benefit concert right here at the Scottish Rite Temple, the first of several to raise money for their trip to Europe. If you're interested in donating to their trip fund, we'll give you an address where you can send contributions in just a few minutes. But first, we'd like to leave you with part of the Philharmonic concert, The Gift of Music. I'm Sharon Jones. Thanks for joining us tonight.